I know we did. Yeah. All of us were.
So I figured that is the reason.
I do what? What's that, sir? No, I asked what you said.
All right, folks, it's 6
So I
o'clock.
thought,
I'm going to call this meeting to order. Thank you for attending the August 14th City of Smith Center Council meeting. If you folks had a chance to review the minutes from July 24th, if there's no discussion there, we'll need a motion to approve as well as with the vouchers and pay the bills. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion approved. That moves us right into guests. Stephen Melnick, so you may have the floor.
Real quick, you guys. I don't know if you guys have a pass or something, I'm gonna give you some general stuff here. Thank you. All right, so there's three things I'm gonna cover tonight in about 5 minutes. This is just the first one. Basically, you guys, this is something I'm bringing from Colonial Life to the city council for a benefit for the employees. If you open up that little packet, it's $2 per employee, $24 per year. And it's basically a $10,000 benefit that the city of Smith Center has to pay for. So 24 times your 15, about $360 per year for the whole city to have a life insurance benefit. Now, there's already a paid life in here, but with inflation and stuff like that for a funeral and expenses for life, this is a nice little feature for $24 per year per person. With that in mind, this comes with a lot of features like the buy-up for each employee is $75,000 more at 4 to 69 cents per thousand. So it's very inexpensive to buy up. So, and then spouses, same thing. All these are guaranteed issue, meaning that there's no question that they are actively working for the Smith Center or they're not. And that's basically the question I'll ask. Kids, $3.04 for all children of the household. My record is 16. I had a gal who married and she had 11 and he had 5. Well, 11 and 5 is 16. So, and everyone got 10,000 and it cost her $3.04 a month. So yeah, all kids of the household. This comes with a lot of stuff like guaranteed issue, but the other thing is that you have with the program is you have the additional stuff like build an accelerated death benefit. This is just a brief sentence. Basically, if you have a brain tumor, you're not going to make it next year. They're going to give you that upfront money, 75% to do whatever you want with, and the rest of it later, whether it be the buy-up or just the $10,000. Health Advocate is just saying, hey, you have assistance program that's free. Life planning services, financial and counseling services, all free from Colonial if you have a employer paid program. So the employees will have all these free services from us. The other thing is portable conversion to waiver premium. Portable means they can take the $2 with them. They leave the city of Smith Center. Do they keep their $2 a month? Yes, they can. So they can leave it. It's theirs to take with them. Conversion, they can convert it to a whole life or waiver premium. If your employee isn't working for a month at a time or something like that, then they just waive that month's premium for that $2. So it doesn't cost the city nothing. So that's basically the gist of that. I'll touch again on that guarantee issue for 75, 25, and 10. Basically, it can go up to 5 times your income if they're healthy, but I'll give you guys one or two examples how it works. Like, I'll just take Chris and Brady because it's really easy to do that with you guys. So, for example, like I'm going to guess Brady's age at 30, right, Brady?
37.
Hey, give me the benefit of the doubt, Brady. So anyway, but if you look at 37-year-old for 75K on a buy-up from the 10, plus he bought up 75,000 at 37 years old, it's 9 cents. So so 0.09 times 75. Looking at $6.75, Brady, to buy up $75,000 for the coverage from life insurance as a commissioner or council member. And then, Chris, how young are you?
I'm mid-40s,
45 or 44? Or?
45.
Okay, so basically you're at the, yeah, so $16.50 for $75,000 coverage. So it's really inexpensive as you look at the buy-up for folks that work for the city or their spouses. So the thing is I lost my spouse at 40, my first one, had 2 little kids. She had a mental and a heart condition, could not get life insurance because I've been in self-employed for benefits for 30 years now as of September 1. So that buy-up for the spouse is important too. Don, how young are you? I said that nicely, Don.
Yes, you did. Invert Brady's.
So
Brady's
54,
37.
54?
Yeah, invert Brady's. He was 37. I'm
Well,
73.
I was thinking of Bert and Chris's. but-
Oh, that'd been okay too.
All right. Let's see. Well, let's
Can't
see.
do it, can you?
Yeah, I can. All it is just a number, right? So they say. So, you know, you don't have to go 75,000, but you can. You still can at that age. There's no age limit on this. And that's the good news about that too. So if you want to go up and have 135 a month for 75,000, you can, and you'd be issued that.
For 135 a month.
Yep. So guys, remember, even though you're 73, it doesn't matter on the age on this thing. It's wherever you're at, where you fall on the schedule. So on your age.
So it's not like 73 to 75, then it's going to be refigured.
At 75, it's every 5-year increment. 70.
Every 5 years.
Yeah, it's a 5-year term, Don. You're right. So yeah.
Now, how long is the term for?
Every 5th year, so every like at 45 to 50, 50 to 55, that's how it works. And it goes up from 4 cents all the way up to like $1.80 for you per thousand. So that basically.
So the term of the policy, as long as we pay the premiums, will never end.
That's correct.
Okay.
And the $2 one for the city paying from Smith Center, that's always when they get a new employee, they automatically get 10,000 and their $2 starts that month too. It's like boom. So
And if you mentioned if we would end employment, or say we don't get reelected,
you can carry the
we
$2.
we can
That's
carry
correct.
it with us.
That's correct. So yeah, so the employer paid benefits on a dirty word. A lot of people are having more than one now because a lot of it's because of me. I have a McCook office, Grand Island office, and Kearney office, and Sioux City, where my wife's from. She's an Iowegian. Forgive her. But basically, a lot of the counties have a 10 or 15 already in place. Cities do too, but I'm telling you, it's not enough. We see a lot of people that, at that roller coaster, when your spouse dies, your son dies, somebody like that happens, you got that roller coaster effect for years on end. So for grief and all that. So the other 2 pieces real quick, and I'll let you get on to your meeting, is the second one is when you guys don't have an account with us. So there's really good news for you guys because we do a freebie for you guys. So because the council will approve of a $2 life insurance for everybody, well, they give you an extra $10,000 for no cost. So there's a $10,000 AD&D, which is maxed out that for sure. So you approve of something, and then I'm going to give you even more. So they give you an extra $10K for if something happens. So yeah, so it's kind of a nice kicker. So this is just an AD&D. It's expanding your benefits, not your budget, so that you have an account with Colonial, just like a vendor account, but I'm going to add another $10K for accidents if you guys get killed or lose a hand or an eye or something like that. So that it doesn't cost the city or the employee nothing. So that's always a little added feature. So, and then the last thing is just this one here. Everybody asks me, what do you all do with Colonial? Well, we do a lot, from vision to hearing to dental, you name it. So basically on this, they give you list of things that they do, just a real quick. This is what I hand an employee or an email, and they'll go, do you want to check out quotes? They might have a Globe, Washington National, Aflac, whatever they have, but they're gonna get a quote and they go, hey, I think I'm spending too much on this particular plan for hospital indemnity. I'm gonna click on their name and I'm gonna say, this is my price for that. So that's what I'll do, so, but to help them out. So that's basically Colonial Life in a quick note, and I'll give you a quick thumb about me. I grew up in a little town called Doniphan, Nebraska. We heard the state trap shoot since I've been a kid. And then basically I went in the service for the Marines for 4 years, and I started doing insurance in '94 because I met a girl from Wood River who farmed with her dad. And then she passed away from a heart condition, and I got married from a gal in Sioux City, and I kept doing benefits. This is my 30th year next month on the 1st. So that's kind of my snapshot of me. But yeah, I just serve a lot of cities and counties only now because public sectors is what I try to focus in on and get you guys' business, but also to make sure you get the best service available. So anyway, but yeah, so thank you guys. And then the only thing I'm going to ask is if as far as the $2 life, because I can throw everything else at you for free on a lot of other stuff too. So.
Can you name any neighboring communities, counties, cities that are utilizing Colonial Life for this type of service?
Well, your county right next to you, Phillips. How about Jewel? I mean, I can name counties right beside you guys that have a Colonial Life account that are counties. City offices, not so much, but I mean, well, I guess the city of Bellevue is not too far. I mean, there's a lot of cities too, but I mean, I in my mind, I'm like this, Chris. County meetings are at 10 o'clock in the morning, and city meetings are at 6 o'clock at night. So,
right.
So I do a lot more county meetings, but yeah. So, but I mean, you guys have the same. As I saw Ashley and the commissioners today, the 3 up here at Smith County, it's the same thing I presented to them as you guys get here for the city. As long as you're over a 10 employee, which you guys are, you guys will get the same as a county. So, but yeah, I just, when I talked to Jill about that, I mean, it's a pretty exciting thing for knowing that you have a $2 life benefit. And as soon as that employee starts, he has life insurance, which is good.
Yeah.
So she just has to email me and say, we have this employee, and then boom, I have a gather platform for you that as soon as they fill out stuff, it comes to me. So they'll be already, I'll have it just when you have it. So it's pretty, our platform is like, so I have the information as soon as, so she don't have to do that much work. I'm trying to make your life easy too, Jill. So, but any other questions, Chris or Tracy? I didn't really get to say anything to you, but just hi. Brady, Tabitha,
Oh, no questions, thanks.
Okay. Don.
Good to go.
Okay. As far as getting a $2 life for the employees, can do at the end of the year whenever your enrollment is, so to make sure it's not tying up the employee.
Right.
So whenever your enrollment is, whether it be this January, next, you know what I'm saying, to make sure it's easy for you guys to understand, I'm not going to take a lot of time.
Right.
So
That was the next question. If there was a enrollment period where it's better for.
it's whenever's convenient for Jill and just the group. I mean, whenever you do the rest of your
If they were
stuff.
to do something, I think it'd be best to keep it with our other.
Yep.
And that year begins December 1,
Yep.
we start open enrollments in September.
Yeah. So it'd just be really, I wouldn't want to do outside that.
Earmark that so we can discuss it,
Mhm.
talk about the rest of the insurance. So you guys agree with that? Yeah. Look at it.
Thanks so much for your time,
Thanks,
Chris,
Jill.
and
Thank
everybody.
you.
Jill, thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's okay. I try to get more. It's not easy.
All right, moving on. Brad Allen, do you have the floor, sir? Or Mrs.
Can I give it
Allen?
to that Amy?
Whoever wants it.
I guess we're just requesting the closure of that, street where you guys should have the paperwork with the time and date, street and all that stuff.
Washington Street east to the alley for a block party with the barbecue grand opening on October 22nd. She originally had 5 to 7, but she called and asked for 4 to 7:30 to allow a little more time.
To set up. So,
And it's a Sunday evening, so.
foresee any problem with that. Do you need barricades for,
We will, I was gonna ask you guys.
Probably be a good idea.
can you assist
And
with
I can
that?
go get them, if that's okay with you or whatever. So.
Thank you for coming, so a lot easier to move around.
Yeah.
The Falcons. Okay. Is that shed usually open?
Yes.
I know where they're at, so.
Okay, I think that'll be fine, Brad, maybe, no issue there, you, yep, okay. We'll help.
Okay. All right.
I don't need it, that's it,
Yep, that's all we need.
thank you.
Thanks, guys.
What's the date on that?
The 22nd.
Monday the 23rd.
Dana, you're up.
All right.
No, 22nd is Tuesday.
October
Oh,
22nd.
sorry, we're in the wrong spot. Yeah.
October
We have to be ready by September.
I put the letter in there. You're welcome.
So I am here this evening as a board member of Bright Beginnings Child Development Center. Nancy Schaefer and Lori Boards are also here. We wanted to give you an update on the Child Care Center and then also ask for some support. So in June, we named Jenna, now Maruska, as our director. And Jenna is originally from Ellis and has chosen to live here in Smith Center with her new husband. And we're excited to have a director with a passion for teaching. She is educated in early childhood development and wants to start growing a family in Smith Center. So it's great to have her and her new husband here. We have had some regretful incidents at the center over the last few months. And so the appointment of Jenna as our director has enabled us to really restart some good policies and procedures. We currently, at the time of the letter was written, we had 31 children. Next week, we'll have 23. So we are kind of shrinking. So we have lots of spots available at the Child Care Center. We're also losing 3 staff people today or this week, and then hiring probably right at this moment. So we're losing 3, and then we brought 1 on today, and then have a couple more that we're interviewing. So there's a lot of transition in the Child Care Center right now, but we do have capacity for children and are working with the school to do some work study and part-time job opportunities for people as well. So we had some fundraisers over the summer and our annual open house last week where we had some good visits from the community and some strong supporters that came in. And so in this season, we are asking for donations for the center to get us started off on the school year on a good foot. And so we also have some facility improvements that we could use some help with. Specifically, there are sunshades that we've purchased, but we need some help with installation of them. And then a few other things that need to be hauled off and that sort of thing. So some minor facility maintenance. Are there any questions for me or Nancy or Lori?
Any thoughts as to why the turnover of employees?
Stress mostly. The financial piece of a nonprofit childcare is very difficult. We're trying to keep our tuitions low because most of our families are pretty low income. We have several that are participating in state programs as well. But really to make ends meet, it's been difficult. There's been a lot of fundraisers for the center. We are starting to work with the Northwest Kansas Innovation Center on trying to get some more funding streams going with grants and different support programs that are available Dane G. Hansen has some opportunities that we need to continue to look at too. But there are some structural problems with nonprofit child care centers in the region. And so the Innovation Center is helping us, but we're also giving feedback to them to help with those structural issues. You know, mostly incomes for the people who need this service are not very high. And so the state support that comes to supplement that is not adequate. I know the Innovation Center is also trying to do some work in Topeka as well on some of the structural problems, but that's slow work.
And the number of children from 31 to 23, what do you correlate that decline to?
We have had some parents that have decided to find other childcare because of the financial situation we're in.
And you're asking for assistance from the city for $5,000, correct?
Yes, and we are asking for assistance from others as well, including some local foundations. And individuals.
And you've got right, we've got a loan currently through wasn't there a
Yes, there is an economic development loan.
ED loan?
Mhm. And we have paused payments on that loan through this difficult season.
So you're in a tough position.
We are in a tough financial position, and we are looking at that asset. So from a business perspective, as we look at this nonprofit business, right now in my analysis, we are not leveraging the building asset the way we could be. So part of our discussion with our local banks is, can we get a mortgage on the building to cover some of the expenses that were not paid in a timely manner by previous leadership at the center. And so we have some debt that we need to cover. And a good way to do that would be a mortgage instead of coming up with thousands of dollars right at one time. So we are trying every avenue to keep things going.
You're new to this position, correct? You haven't been on this board?
I started as a volunteer on the board in June.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can answer this for the amount of time that you've been on the board, but I mean, I know we hope, but do you think it's possible is this something that can eventually carry its own or run in the black without assistance?
Yes.
The opportunities there.
Without local assistance, no. As a nonprofit daycare, we've got to maintain local support. That then leverages regional and state support that will be able to cash flow this. So as I look at this, if our goal is to keep tuition manageable for lower income families in our area, we've got to have that donation and grant support that will probably supplement about a third of the annual budget. We are looking into every possible state program that will help with this. Our food program, there's state support that can help, increase that cost. But long-term, a nonprofit daycare is a hard thing to cash flow. Phillipsburg and Norton's nonprofit daycares are in the very similar situation as ours is. And so that's part of our work with the Northwest Kansas Innovation Center, is trying to find what is this business model that will work for the families who need the care in our area, but also for long-term. We've got to find a sustainable model.
And do you think with your experience with finding grants, I mean, realistically, you think there's things that we've missed out on down there that are?
We know of some
Possibilities.
small grants that we've missed out on. that we need to get going again. But, you know, logistically, we're going to have to run fundraisers for a nonprofit daycare. Now, there are for-profit daycares that are making a go of it, but the tuition is $50 more a week per child. And I just don't know if if our community can cash flow that.
What is the tuition?
Our tuition right now is around $155 per child per week. The tuition in Hayes for a for-profit daycare runs about $205, $210.
I think they'd have a hard time finding daycare any cheaper than that. From what my kids have gone through.
Mhm. Yeah. So we did just recently raise our tuition about, what was it, $20? But we don't want to do that much, or, you know, we're going to impact the families that are using the services. So we've got to find the right number of students and the right number of staff to maximize what we can do for that money.
Yeah, this is a tough conversation. You know, it kind of, for lack of better examples, reminds me of the county recycling program trailer that they had. For all the right reasons, it was a good program.
Right.
It's just we couldn't afford
That's right.
it from a county level, from what I understand. I'm not on the county level, but, you know, and it had to dissolve. But so if you found a donation of $5,000, do you think this could get you over the hump for a while? I mean, is that what you got to have to keep going?
So we are asking for about $50,000 in donations across the community. And I hope and anticipate, by my figures, that'll keep us going.
That's gonna be hard to sustain that.
It will be.
You put out your 50 every year, per year. Yeah.
Mhm. Raising $50,000 or $75,000 locally so we can go get another $50,000 or $75,000 regionally and state. It's going to be tough, but right now that's the situation we're in.
Well, the community needs it and the community wants it. It's just if the taxpayer can afford it.
Yeah.
I mean,
The taxpayer and the beneficiaries.
Right.
Right.
where do you got thoughts on this?
Really?
Tracy?
It's like you said, it's a hard subject. I don't know. I'm sure what the answer is. That's a lot of money. I mean, I don't know.
Don?
I just see it really hard to sustain it year to year to year to year, living on, there's gotta be, well, you said Norton and Peaburn are in about the same situation.
And they're bigger communities
Yeah.
than we are.
Have you heard of any places that the schools are involved?
Yes. And there are some opportunities for the food costs to be reduced and to streamline the food delivery through the school, or to streamline building expenses through schools. So there are some schools that have, part of the school building as the daycare, and that then costs less per student, right? And then if you make a bigger meal, you can make a meal for $65 that's on a per student cost less expensive if you make more food. So those are the models that schools are using to do this. But those schools are taxpayer funding too.
May I make a comment?
You bet.
Just as individually, you may have already thought of this, may already have it there, but have you looked at some of the larger employers to maybe partnership for a discounted rate if they donate so much money a year?
We are starting to have those
Because
conversations.
I figured you probably had, but just in case.
Mhm.
I don't know much about what goes on down there, but it seems like you're that close to, I mean, you got for the most part, personnel are working on getting more.
Mhm.
You got the infrastructure,
Mhm.
you know, the facility.
Yep.
I mean, it seems from the outside looking in, you're that close and just can't get over the hump, even though that hump's never going to be totally achieved. I would feel wrong turning you down, my opinion. But at the same time, in the same sentence saying, I don't know if we could continue to do this every year. I don't know. I mean,
That's the problem.
I mean, we want it too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd assume a lot of the parents that are utilizing the service, you know, work at like, you know, in the medical field or AppleQuest or all these other large employers that we have. So it's a key component to these people being able to work in our community.
Mhm.
It's my opinion from this point, I think we should do it. Again, my opinion, but really hope that we can do something different going forward. Like the loan payment, you say it's on pause.
It is
So,
being paused right now.
yeah. And that was like a $35,000 loan from the,
Correct.
Yeah.
Good memory.
and I think have we given 2 Jumpstart grants already for it?
I think is it two?
Yep, I think so.
So we're not new to trying to assist in this service.
Yeah.
But it's a tough conversation no matter how you look at it.
That's how I got the job,
Yeah.
to come here and ask for money.
You do it so well. You really do.
So, Appreciate your consideration if you have any other questions.
We're obviously short-staffed tonight.
Mhm.
Mayor's out of town, Mr. Mason's out of town. Is there time to hold this till next time when we got a full council, or do we need to do something now? Does anybody know?
It would be appreciated if you could do something now.
Yes, it would.
Jill, do we have, I mean, what?
Yeah, do we have-
What do we got?
I'm not positive, would have to do some research, but I think there may be a way that this will qualify out of industrial, which is about what we get in. We get I think 4,000 something. We've had some of that money sitting in. That's where we allocate the Chamber of Commerce money from. It is tight on statute on how it's to be expended, but that would be my first avenue to look at industrial development.
If I were to make that motion pending that we can pull it out of that, can we proceed forward if it's,
Yes, the funds are there.
okay. I'll make the motion for $5,000 for the daycare.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Jill, can you update us on the sidewalk program?
Well, not much, but basically I added a sheet there on cost of concrete based on some random properties. Some of those yours, I won't say whose, but just to have an idea, I picked different properties because as you know, the way that our town is platted, there's not very many of them that are exactly the same size. And these are off of Google Earth listing, you know, so give or take,
Yeah, okay,
obviously.
right.
And this is on current concrete cost alone. That is not what a contractor is going to charge. That is not, this is literally just the cost of concrete. No forming, no labor, no rebar, anything of that nature. Just to give you an idea of some of the different properties. Of course, downtown gets a little trickier because of the width and the way it is. That's probably going to be a case by case, honestly. But just gives you an idea on trying to figure out which direction the council wants to go as far as capping. If you go back a few pages, it's the same information I had in the previous one. There's this a few pages back that we've had included in your other council packets that kind of shows where some of the other towns are at. that in order to complete a resolution, in order to move forward, we would need some guidelines to write it up to bring to the next meeting.
Yeah, some of those commercial ones are
I don't know.
tough. Tracy, what's your thought on this?
Well, I just don't know how to approach this. I mean, are we gonna have, try to do a section? Did we go, are we gonna go with this? Or are we gonna, was we gonna get some money for this or?
We did at the last meeting.
Yeah.
And now it is setting the boundaries.
Yeah, and we're, any boundary in Pacific or?
Well, in this case, I mean, what most of the other towns have done, it's not one section of town versus another. It's first come, first served.
So once you run out, you're out.
Yeah.
Right.
For that year.
Correct.
So are you gonna send anything like in the billing or something that gives these people an opportunity to do this?
We have it all over the place. Yes.
And then did you all discuss whether or not, like, some of the different options as far as, that's what you're trying to decide now, right? How much do you want to pay? Do they have to use a contractor? Can they do the labor themselves?
Correct.
Things like that.
I don't know, I think that could be a problem if you start letting people do it themselves instead of getting a contractor. I mean,
I can see it both ways.
I
There are
mean, I
plenty of
know you
people who
can.
could do it themselves and
Right.
who would be
oh, yeah,
annoyed to have to spend the money.
exactly.
And maybe you actually get someone to fix their sidewalk because all they have to spend is
Yeah.
half the amount, of concrete. But you're right, it's hard because you don't know who will do a
Yeah,
nice
right.
job and
We'd like everything to be consistent.
but I think you probably get more takers if people can do the labor themselves. You probably get more people interested in doing it.
You have to set a time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Time to start project has to be finished by.
Yeah,
Yeah, you only get that money for a certain amount of
Yeah.
time.
I would think we would need to concentrate on Maine first. Just for value of a nice looking sidewalks in your downtown district.
Commercial main? Or
Yeah,
main?
commercial.
That's gonna,
Yeah,
I agree, that's gonna burn up a lot of money fairly quick.
That's gonna take about half a block to be done. I mean,
There's a combination of bad sidewalks all the way
yeah,
throughout. For example, on the way to grade school from here, if you walk that, you're gonna see a couple of blocks that are hit and miss, some that are up.
yeah,
Um,
I know what you're talking about.
I'm not saying that they would apply, it's just one of the
No, I
areas that is,
Main Street and then access roads to the school.
To the school would be good.
High priority list if I were to guess, in my mind.
We probably don't need to worry about New York Street.
not from, I mean, part of it would be the east side, but
Yeah.
unless it's on the other side of the road, because you're
Yeah.
only doing one.
They're doing the north side.
The north side.
Yeah.
They are only doing the north side.
Correct.
Yeah. Is there good sidewalks on the north side of New York, on the east side of Maine? Do you know, they're bad, except for the courthouse probably.
Yeah, the block,
The block between the
Right.
courthouse and
yeah, it's
the
not in good
duplexes.
shape, on the residential side,
Yeah.
Does a lot of kids take that street?
yes, and the
That
four-way.
might be a top priority to do something like that.
I couldn't tell you how many in comparison, they come from about everywhere.
If we're gonna put a cap on the program, I think there should be a cap for residential versus commercial Main Street cap. That's good, two different ballgames.
Could we do something like on a commercial, all across the board, 50% of the concrete, and then split our budget in half? I mean, because if you gave out $400 a street and you took, or $400 a property, you can make $10,000 go quite a far ways, and then take the other $10,000 and you can get 2 businesses done a year.
Good,
Probably.
as long as we got takers on it.
They'd have to come up, I mean, it
Well,
would
if
still
you
cost the
don't, we
business
can Put it all
$4,000.
toward residential. I mean, if we didn't get any takers.
Could be a closing period,
Yeah.
last month or
So that's
something,
good.
whatever's set up.
Set it at the end of July, and then whatever's left is first come, first served for the rest of the year.
Depending on how you want to do it.
I don't think. You hear that?
I do.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. One bullet checked off. So we'll split it 50/50 to X amount of days, which we can determine.
Okay.
And then residential cap, you want like $1,500? Or where do you think you want
We're
to
gonna look at this.
Some of them have it per frontage so that you can address corner lots.
What's a lot? What's normally a lot?
We have so many different sizes.
I know that an average lot in Spicera is what, 75? Oh, is that?
Depends on how it's set, some of them are 37 wide, 167 long.
Well, I'm talking about if you was street frontage, a street frontage, most people just have most people's lots are the same, aren't they?
Depends on what section of town you're in. Some of them are 37 wide and they run, they would run
Right.
37 wide, 167 long, with 167 could be on the corner and it could be 3 lots wide or 2.5 lots wide. So you'd have
So if you've got
7
four
foot
houses
out front, 167 on the side. Might have a driveway in there or something. I mean, everything's gonna be different.
For
Yeah, if you
example,
look at these, you can see what some other locations are doing. Like if you have 2 street frontages, then your cap is 700 versus 1 street is 400.
Yeah, they're all over.
Yeah, all over the place.
Russell's
So,
1,200. Hebron's 800.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that the first year we do this, we're not gonna do it right.
Agreed. It's tough. I mean,
A lot of it's gonna come down to how important sidewalks are to these people.
and if they want
Some
to do
of
it
them
or
probably
not.
don't give a hoot about it.
the person's getting a petition and then told they have to, put assessed on taxes. That's we haven't done and we hope it doesn't happen.
yeah, I mean, that's not gonna
It used to, but it hasn't for.
So 4 of these community examples were a 50/50 split up to a cap. Me, in the first year when we're learning how to do this properly, that would be the simplest way to be. If you think we could get it takers at 50/50.
I think it's worth trying.
I'm just,
That'd be the simplest, would it not?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, I'm just gonna use my lot, for example, I think it's about 50 foot wide. And I'm guessing that's what most of the people's are, it's 50 foot wide. I don't know what it costs to put a sidewalk there.
You're gonna be about like that first.
Like which one?
You're gonna be under $700 on concrete cost. That does not include
That's not
your
the labor.
labor or anything like that.
So
So easily double
I
that.
think you double it. I think I
So you
say
think it'd take $1,500 to put your sidewalk?
Oh, yeah, no, because I looked at it.
So would you, as an individual, pay $750 for a sidewalk? I'm just asking.
No.
You wouldn't do
No, I mean,
it? There's no wrong answer, I'm just
yeah,
curious.
that's gotta be the issue.
I know, it's
One guy in the middle of the block has a sidewalk, nobody else wants it.
well, because I mean,
So
there's
does-
one
can
sidewalk on my street, and I know the next people are gonna fix theirs.
Yeah,
And this work hand in hand with economic development revitalization,
Could.
where their portion, would that qualify? What's that? To where the property owner's portion, could they apply for a revitalization, cleanup and revitalization for their
So-
portion of the grant?
The revitalization grant is intended to increase the property value. So in as much as the sidewalk will do that, I think it could qualify. I don't know how much that figures into property valuation.
again, I think it would depend on what your neighbors do.
I'm just trying to be honest.
No, that's what we want.
That's what's gonna happen.
Well, there's a reason petitions, where was that at? Where was that at? The people had to do it.
And it's happened here, but it's been over 30 years, where the city has mandated that may be replaced because of the shape of the sidewalks. And,
It's in the ordinances, we just don't enforce it.
right,
All right, so
Well,
what,
didn't we say that technically it wasn't in your ordinances? It's part of statute, and when we codified the company who did it, if it just got added in, there were a lot of those. That's what happened with the dog ordinances, why we were all so confused. So
Okay.
technically, as a city governing body, y'all have never voted to make that part of your ordinances. It just, until you voted for the code and it got included. Does that make sense?
Because if
but
you
it does
did,
fall
you'd have to
under the
enforce it.
state one that way.
Verbatim mostly from the statute.
so what if the city come to you, Tracy, and said, we'll pay 60%, you pay 40%?
That might be, but I doubt it. But I just don't know how that's.
Is your sidewalk in like bad shape?
Yeah,
Does
I
it need
have one.
replaced? Oh, okay.
Oh, I got pieces.
Yeah.
That I mow over. I mean,
Yeah.
I mow my neighbors for, it's probably 3 lots, and I mow it, and it's no sidewalk. Same thing I got.
You're on east,
Yes.
and that's a corner lot.
Yeah, that's a corner lot, and I know they ain't gonna do it. I mean,
Yeah, and that's
I just
fine.
don't think, you just don't know what you don't know. And so
The homeowner's got to have some skin in the game.
Oh, absolutely.
maybe it will be a rousing success and a bunch of people will apply and maybe not, but you don't know until you try.
let's try.
So we're trying a 50-50 split
I would guess.
on residential,
Yeah, I would say that's about what you're gonna have to do.
bullet 2, up to what cap?
That's, I don't know. Well, so we're splitting 10,000, right?
We're talking residential right now.
So you better go, I'd say $1,000.
I don't think that'll get you very far.
Well, I know, you're gonna get your credit card, that's only
I was going to say 12 to 15, but that's my opinion.
1,200, 1,500.
12 to 15, somewhere there.
I don't know if there's a right
So
call.
that, if you do 1,500, that's what, six.
6 more we had. 6 more we had.
If you look, pay attention when you're out for a walk or whatever you're doing. There's
Yeah.
not very many sidewalks
No, there isn't.
in Smith Center. There just aren't. There are many blocks that do not have any sidewalks. This is trying to fix what's
Mostly
there.
New York, Kansas, they got sidewalks. New York,
Not all of Kansas.
Not all of Kansas, but 90% of it
Yeah,
probably
most of
does.
it does. But a good portion of the northeast corner,
Oh, there's no sidewalks over
East
there.
Kansas has none,
No.
and that's a busy street.
but some of those main ones are ones that would be nice to use as safe routes to school and try to get the interest back to the state on those too, if possible.
trying to think which way on Kansas. Is it frontage or is it? I'm trying to think the way all those houses sit. Well, there's not one house on the east.
There's nothing east of Colfax.
No.
But from Colfax all the way probably.
Well, there's nothing on the east side of town anywhere.
No.
You get past that.
No,
You get the stop sign, you get past the stop sign,
yep, you go past the stop sign, it's
Yeah.
done.
nothing.
And actually, that's the newer section of town
Yeah.
where there's no sidewalks.
There's none on Kansas past Colfax.
Higher property value.
There you go.
What's the sidewalks gonna do to my property?
I don't know, maybe, I think I would concentrate on trying to get them close to the school if we got bad ones. I mean, that'd be my suggestion. Start, I mean, I don't know, I mean, you think this, I know that's not what I'm doing, very good.
I don't know if we're gonna help this out tonight or not, but, so, Dana, is that something you can look at or evaluate to see if that will fall under your umbrella to assist the homeowner on their part of the costs to put sidewalk in? What Jill was asking you about.
So just to make sure I'm clear, so that the city money from a sidewalk program could be matched by economic development money?
If that would fall under your criteria.
Revitalization.
I can ask the board on Thursday if they want to include that, yeah.
This is.
I
It
mean,
would just be their portion. And
Yeah,
it wouldn't
just
even
the-
have to be all of, it would be a 50-50. I think that's how you're set up now.
so right now,
So it would not be all of what their portion is. It would be 25%.
So at this point, the homeowner would be responsible, if that would work, if they'd be responsible for 25%.
Correct.
You would do it.
Well,
too.
that's not really the way your grant works though, right? If I got an estimate for 1,500, you would pay half and I
Correct.
would pay half.
correct,
So if the ordinance pays half, if the city pays half, then they would pay the other half. Because that's half of the estimate.
We're just gonna have.
What they would only be applying though for their portion. It would,
They
they would show, they would have the application
I
show.
understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that that's not really how the language of the
Yeah.
grant works. And so you would have to change your,
we'd have to change our program.
to make it so that they paid for half of your half, of the homeowner's half.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right now, when a homeowner does a residential revitalization grant with us, they have to submit a bid, and then they have to submit a payment. And we pay up to half, to a max, of the payment that's already been made. It's a reimbursement grant.
So that would still just be reimbursing their portion.
So as the voice of the ED, how do you feel about this? Is this, do you agree with what our goal or intent is here?
I love the idea of fixing our sidewalks in
Okay.
Smith Center, particularly some of our sidewalks in our business district. There are some really bad ones. There are some of our commercial property owners who have received grants to fix their sidewalks. Julie Wagonblast got a storefront grant to fix the steps in front of Collier Abstract, and we're still waiting on that project to be completed because the steps are like 4 inches wide and just a hazard, right? I think there's opportunity within our residential district as well. With our current grant, the way it's written, I don't know that it fits as we ask residential property owners to increase the property value with those investments.
I honestly don't know if it would.
Right. I think it'd be interesting to see what your board thought about it.
Okay.
So back to how much are we gonna give for that then, for concrete? 1,200?
1,200.
1,200.
Okay.
I just remember, and we talked about this, it was 2 or 3 years ago, the state was throwing money around like
I know.
crazy for sidewalks.
I know we should have done it, because that
Yes.
DOT was doing that.
We did do park with the playground up to school, and that's the hope is to
Yeah, but there was
continue
no
to,
sidewalks.
once we have an incentive program, have a little bit more.
Have we got enough to take a small step forward on the residential now?
Yeah.
But we really don't have much for commercial at this point.
No.
Can we see what she comes back with?
Yes.
And then, we didn't make a big leap here, but I felt like we made some progress.
Why don't we send a flyer out or whatever we do and see what our feedback is? I mean, that might be our first step.
We can do a survey.
Yeah, do a survey and see how it goes.
We're not gonna get this figured out until there's snow on the ground, but we're gonna get it.
I have faith in you. You got this.
Yeah. Okay,
Let's go with that.
let's put that on hold. I think we've made some progress. All right. K 204-92.
There are two supplemental agreements in your packet. The first one defines the change in the scope, as originally was 3 projects, now down to 1, changing our complete setup. As a state ran project, we will not have to go reimbursement route, which saves us tons of money.
So this is just
So this is for this project?
Correct.
K 204. And again, this is doing what? What's it? What are we changing?
This one, if you go over to page 2, it explains the funding is now 100% of the total cost of the
Nice.
preliminary engineering, construction, all of that, not to exceed $3,600,000 is the responsibility of KDOT. The city has 0% except for what would fall over the top. It is ran through the state now instead of as a reimbursement, so we do not have to have the $3,600,000 in the bank
So this is
today.
good. This is good. All right, you need a motion on that?
I do.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by Tracy, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. And then the ladder there,
The second one, even though it says 03 by the state, is on the engineering fee services, which comes in less than what we had originally received from the engineer because the scope of the project has completely changed. They're estimating $213,100. This has total compensation for phases 1 and 2, not to exceed $362,952.42. Which again is less than what we had originally anticipated in the cost. You can see the hours there on this one, of what Wilson and his company are estimating.
all right, so again, one more time in English, what's this one doing?
This one is approving the engineer's fees, which is a lesser amount than originally
All right.
approved.
Fair enough. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second by Tracy, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion approved. All right, that's all the ongoing business we got, unless somebody has something else. No. New business, the STO ordinance, I think this is the annual ordinance, isn't that right, Joe?
That is correct.
So nothing new here.
I'd make a motion to approve it.
Motion made by Brady, need a second?
Second.
Second by Don, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved.
Thank you.
Billy just left.
He went to the restroom.
Okay.
Restroom.
All right,
Aye. Close the door.
We can start with the resignation. We still have not received an actual resignation, but the rec commission received it during the meeting
Okay.
via cell phone.
oh, from Bennett.
Correct. So that will need to be,
Okay, got a resignation from Daniel Bennett as field director. We have a motion there.
yes.
I'll make
So
that.
moved. I'm sorry.
Don made the motion, need a second?
Second.
Second by Brady, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion approved. That's one.
Then he'll probably want to talk to you about the tractor mower.
You're up.
Y'all waiting on me?
Yes, just barely.
Sorry.
We did we accepted the resignation of Mr. Bennett, and then whatever else you have on your mind.
We want to put the tractor up on auction
I think in our minutes, we said big iron or something, but Rick had
Oh, I
said it
don't have
in.
it on.
Huh?
I don't have it on. I thought I had my hat on, but I don't.
Rick suggested a different auction company, I guess, that y'all have sold more stuff with.
Okay.
What's it called?
Gavel Roads.
Gavel Roads.
So
And I think we had we wanted to put a minimum on it.
Yep, that's fine. So your intent is to sell the little compact tractor with the loader,
Correct,
and it's got a mower deck on it, right?
correct.
And then in turn, you're going to.
We want to replace it with a zero turn and probably get like a used mule or gator, some
Did we not
sort.
give it mule up?
Did
Did we not give our mule up?
It's at the golf course.
It's
This
at
is
the
the
golf course.
recognition.
Oh, I'm sorry, the rec commission.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the thing is it's not real efficient mowing, and it is very inefficient having to drive from Higley over to the high school field 2 or 3 times a week. And there's more time spent traveling than there is actually dragging at the high school field. So we're trying to cut down on the time that it takes to go over and drag. I know I had my mower up there at Higley, and just mowing circles on Higley, I could make 3 laps to Daniels 2 on the tractor.
Right.
Plus, I'm cutting a wider path also. And it's an old, I don't know exactly how old it is, but it's not real new.
That tractor,
Yeah,
it's probably 2017.
17.
oh, we figured it was older than that.
No, 16, 17, somewhere there. So you're gonna lose your ability to have a loader.
Yeah, we haven't used the loader since we took over.
Okay.
And, I've got a Bobcat, the city has a Bobcat. If we ever need to do something with a bucket, I think we can get it taken care of.
Okay.
But, it's just something else, with the insurance, the way it is now, you have, for somebody to run it, they have to be 25. We don't exactly have people knocking down the door to be a field director, and that hamstrings us
Yeah.
on that.
Well,
So,
no question, you'll be 2 to 3 times more efficient with a zero turn mower than
Yeah.
what you got, as long as you're good with not having a loader. But yeah,
Yeah, we didn't think that would be an issue,
Okay,
so.
that sounds good. Okay, what else you got?
I think that's about it for the rec department.
They don't need our blessing to sell that, do they?
There can be consensus.
Are you,
Because it'll run through us. They'll put it under our account and run it through.
are you
The
gonna
rec
wait to get
commission.
a zero turn until you sell this?
We want to make sure that we sell it
Sell this
before
one
we
first, yeah,
go and
sounds good.
I think
something.
everybody should.
I think we're good with that.
Yep.
Rick will get her sold.
Thing about Gavel Roads, if you put a minimum on it, it doesn't sell, it doesn't cost you anything.
Yep.
All the other ones, you gotta pay whether you sell them or not, I
Yep.
believe, unless they changed.
The way we came up with that 9,000, we looked at trade-in value, and that was right around what the trade-in was. So,
If that happens, we'll have to remember to cancel insurance on it.
We do have time, no worries.
Okay, is that all you got?
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Jamie, you may have the floor.
Our radars our cars, new radars that we got through our grant came in today, so we'll be getting them installed with the cars. Also, the building of over here of Jacobs had some brick falling off, so we shut the alley down, had Rick come down, we put barricades up. He said he's gonna need them for a little bit, but he said the structure of the building's all right, but it's just gonna take somebody to get a bricklayer in here and get it fixed, so.
Did you see that, backside of the,
Mm-hmm. Where?
backside of the old bank, Nathan's building? The
Oh.
old bank building, the brick is pushing out, bricks are
Almost look
falling.
like somebody's inside.
He came down immediately when we called.
Yeah. Structurally, we're.
Yeah, he had a structure engineer come in and look at it and said that, there's like 3 brick walls there together. There's a outside facade, the firewall, and then the inside wall, so.
Okay.
He said there's some fixing to do on the building, but It's structurally sound. It's just that part of the building could give way and hurt somebody, so we just leave the barricades. And I told him if he needed anything else to get a hold of us, and we'd be glad to help him, so we get it
Good.
rectified, so.
Anything
Oh, yeah, and then, we had a theft of a carpet from the entrance of the Trader Center here.
Theft of a carpet?
Yes, one of our
All
carpets.
the ones we rent.
Yeah, and we have the lady on video. I have talked to the lady. And so anyway, so I had told Jill we have nothing outside the building. So we have the cameras on my building, we have them at the park. I think for the library and this, I think it would be a good thing to maybe put something outside so if somebody falls, we have ice out there. And just kind of to protect the property, in front of the property and stuff, so. And Jill got a bid from, what is it, CES or?
Yeah, I have, contact them. That's included in your packet.
A bit for what?
To have cameras.
Yeah, they had the
outside
cameras
of building.
outside, and it's the same one that we use for, are they the ones that do the golf course too?
No, this is the same one we have for the building.
Okay, so,
She really needs.
so, but
She doesn't have it.
Huh?
She doesn't have it.
Oh, she sold it?
How much she did.
it's the flying carpet, it doesn't, let's just put it that way.
Okay.
So I talked to the lady and Mark's gonna talk to, because he came in the other morning and I was tied up. And I was gonna have Jill check to see what the price of a new carpet was, because she advised me she would threw the carpet outside and somebody else that took it. I don't know for sure, but anyway, she said she would replace the carpet. So I'm gonna find out what the value of the carpet was. If she don't, then Tabitha will be getting that.
Maybe somebody.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe somebody will steal it.
Okay. It's pretty airtight, I mean, so,
It's there.
so
Anything else?
I think that's pretty much all
All
I
right, I
have.
saw your bid on the cameras. Let's table that tonight.
Yeah.
That might be, if you want good money in bad. Anything else, Jamie?
I don't think so. Oh, I guess we did have somebody drive into front of one of our businesses, Next Tech up there, gentleman. Got on the gas pedal instead of the brake and drove into the building and knocked the wall in about a foot and did some ceiling damage in there to their large ceiling and stuff, so.
Nobody hurt?
No, nobody hurt, thank God,
Good.
so.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
that's all I
Jamie.
have.
Mr. James? What do you got?
I just came to say that, we discussed about those trucks
Yes.
and the cost of the trucks to buy it outright was $57,500, I believe, is what the state wanted.
James was looking at some KDOT trucks that are selling as is for now, and then if they don't sell, they'll go on auction, isn't that right?
Correct.
And we were looking at catalog number 264-2186, which is a 2007 International dump truck, set up kind of like what James uses and needs. It's your turn here, but my thought is to see what it brings at auction, but if you disagree, please speak up.
I believe we should wait till auction, because I've seen the last auction on their trucks and so on and so forth. I think we'd just be better off to try to just catch it on the auction.
And
I think we'd be money ahead.
What'd you say they wanted for that truck?
57,500.
5,700?
I wish
It's got the cabs
Yeah, give us
rusted.
5 of them.
The cabs rusted, broken grill, damaged mirrors.
that's all the bad.
Well, that's why I said 5,700.
Keep in mind it's got a snow plow and a
Well,
spreader,
there's
a dump
your-
spreader on it.
Yeah, but
Extra
there's still
zero.
got to stay on it, the cabs rusted out.
I don't know if you're gonna find a snow plow truck that isn't rusted.
Yeah, I know.
One of our trucks had, what, an $11,000 bill in Kingsbury a couple years ago.
Probably, that was probably the one we had the budget rebuild in.
They're
Our trucks
not
are
inexpensive.
shot.
I know they are. I think we ought to wait till the auction though.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get
Tracy's
it for
okay with
57.
5,700.
We might be able to get it for 5,700.
Where's that truck sitting, James?
Salina right now.
Do you think there would be value in you going to look at it in person?
Me and Rick had already went down and looked at the two trucks. Cause I have a question mark by one.
Yeah.
And then I have the other one circled. The one we have circled starts, runs, does everything. The one I've done the most research on is the question mark one. They couldn't get it to start, couldn't get it to start for us by jumping or any other circumstances. Is there something wrong with the truck? Can't tell you, but that was the one that I had the most research on.
Yeah.
That was the one I went to see.
What did they want for that truck, James? Just out of question.
So I didn't even ask.
If it's got wiring issues, I would dodge that bullet anyway.
It turned over just fine. It just wouldn't start. I don't know what.
Well, I don't know if it was the batteries that they had in it, couldn't get enough jumping power to it, so on and so forth.
To put Tracy's mind at ease, that one you got circled, does it look as bad as the description makes it sound?
What do you think, Rick? You see it?
No, it's all right. And it comes with a salt spreader and a sand spreader and a plow, and this one's got a